I hearing it replay? Hold on.
I don't know.
It must be I think it's mine. It's my fault. It's the way I had it set up. Sorry. Welcome everybody to SciFi Vision Presents for Wonder Man for February 4th. We're going to be talking about the 4th, 5th, and 6th episode tonight. And we'll have the final two on next Wednesday. And of course, we have the watch parties at 8:30 Eastern, followed by our live stream. So if you haven't joined our Discord, make sure you do, because you can get all our schedule there and join the watch parties. Please like the video, hype it if you can, subscribe to SciFi Vision, and check out all our interviews under the video tab and all that good stuff. And soon we'll be having From coverage up there, and everybody saw the trailer today that came out. We will
not
obviously
everybody.
Not everybody. Most people listening to us did. Karen did not. Most people did. But we'll be, of course, covering that and interviews and everything else soon once it starts. All right. Well, what did you guys think? You want to let AJ go first, because I know you were curious what he thought of the 4th episode, or the 4th episode.
Yes.
These three were definitely better than the first three. This episode was interesting, to say the least. I love the fact that Josh Gad disappeared.
Yeah, Josh Gad. He was. I liked him in this whole episode. This is, a little bit of a send up of Hollywood. This episode.
Yes. Making fun of Olaf.
Making fun of so much of Hollywood. I think. I didn't even know what Olaf meant until you said right now. Is that who he plays in Frozen?
Yeah.
Yes, that's why he kept making songs and rap about melting. If you
I've never seen Frozen.
Well,
I don't have any children in my life, so I don't.
You don't need children to see Disney movies.
I don't. Animation is not my genre.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
So when they said Olaf started crowd surfing, I thought they meant the guy from Imagine Dragons is named Olaf. I didn't really get it that they meant that it was Josh Gad, J. Gad.
Yes. I don't know. I like this episode. I just don't know that we needed a whole episode to tell us this. I didn't mean that I didn't like it. I don't know.
It's 30 minutes. The whole episode is 30 minutes.
It's not that long.
A protracted amount of story. I
think the other thing that I said, I don't know if it was part of it, is that maybe irritated me is I don't know that I needed them to change the style. Like the whole black and white thing for the episode, I get, because it was about Hollywood and everything, but did you think it fit? I really didn't feel like it fit, because it wasn't old time Hollywood or anything. So,
it made it clear that this happened in the past.
Yes.
I think that's why they did it. It didn't bother me. I didn't mind the black and white.
Does it
I don't mind it. I just don't know that it fit.
Does it bother you when What If changes the style every episode?
That's fair. They do.
Right. They change it every episode, not like just for the one episode. But I think because it was it was, in the past, and it's a sad tale. Might be why they did it. Did it have to be in black and white? No. Did it detract from it? I don't think so.
No, but I don't think it really added to it to me. Do you? I don't know.
I like black and white, especially like modern black. Like, look, this is not maybe a great example, but there are times when a person, a director, or more likely a photographer, chooses black and white for certain reasons, right? I don't really know what the reasons are here. This isn't like a film noir or anything like that. This episode,
I guess that's kind of my point. Like, why was it black and white? Is more.
Okay, why not?
All right.
I don't. Okay, you're absolutely 100% entitled to your opinion and to not feel that it worked for you. I just don't share your strong reaction to it.
No, and I don't think my reaction is as strong maybe as I'm making it sound like. I just didn't, I don't know. I just felt like some of it was unnecessary. It's not that I didn't like it. It was a bit much. Like as soon as, I mean, you knew obviously that this episode, as soon as you saw the title screen, was going to be about why they don't want powered people to be actors. But I don't know. Like, I didn't think it took the whole thing. Like, as soon as he saw the puddle and I'm like, don't touch that. I'm like, okay, something's going to happen. And this is the reason. And yeah, I don't know. It just was different. Maybe it just felt too different from the other ones to me. I don't know. I'm honestly not even sure what it was, but.
Okay.
I liked it. I liked it because stuff was actually happening, even though it happened in the past. It wasn't like, and it was, and it was goofy, and it was supposed to be goofy and everything. I did get tired of Ding Dong after a while, but
that was kind of the point.
I know. I liked when he was reading the
when I do that,
the what you call it, the comments online, and I like when somebody said it would have made more sense if you said knock knock, and he's like, shit.
Yeah, that would have worked better, but it did not.
I mean, it worked for me in the sense of like also the way people with powers are treated. So really, we had a conversation in the comments on the watch party, like who's a mutant, who's a mutate, what it all means. But like, there certainly is a lot of I mean, I'm gonna call it racism, even that's not real. I guess it's racism. This negative societal feeling towards people with powers, except for the big few, right? Like those who, some people get to be heroes, other people just get to be like persecuted and jailed and pushed out of society, right? And Doorman
kind of showed both sides of that a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
So go ahead. You want to go to Golden Child?
No, I was going to put up Golden Child. Said Black and White was fine with me because we were watching the whole season at once rather than waiting week by week. Maybe if I had watched it last week too, maybe it wouldn't have irritated me as much. It was like the first one I watched coming back because I did watch it and split. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not even sure exactly what it is that I just didn't love. I didn't dislike it. I just, something about it wasn't for me.
Jamie doesn't like old stuff.
Well, there was a time when Jamie, had like not seen a lot of old movies, and especially not black and white movies. You don't watch.
Maybe I don't.
You said to me once, "I don't watch black and white movies." You said it a long time ago, right? You just don't.
That was a long time ago,
right?
No, but I still don't watch black and white movies. I tend to not like old movies. I'm not saying I won't watch stuff, and I have tried things, but like I generally don't watch movies that are old enough they're in black and white. Now, have I seen things in black and white? Yes. And do they sometimes, like you said, when they do it for like film noir or something, like it makes more sense, or like even when the Walking Dead pilot, like you got to see the one in black and white. I don't know. It didn't seem necessary to me. Like I said, I'm not saying I didn't like it. I just would like to know what the reasoning was behind it, since it is modern. Like if it had been supposed to take place further back, maybe it would have made more sense to me. I don't know. But
I get what you're saying.
Have you like not seen It's a Wonderful Life because it's in black and white?
I've seen pieces of it when it's been on. I don't really care and don't really watch.
Do you fast forward The Wizard of Oz until they get to the coloring part? I'm teasing you, Jamie.
No, but I don't love The Wizard of Oz, so it's okay. But I don't love. I've never.
What would you do if Harry Potter was in black and white? My God.
I would watch it. No, I don't fast forward parts of The Wizard of Oz to answer your question, but I also don't love that.
We're going to give Jamie the out here. There was a time when Jamie, when you considered Star Wars like kind of an old movie that you didn't watch. You watched Star Wars as a.
I don't know why I hadn't watched Star Wars, but yeah, it took me a long time to have to actually watch Star Wars, which I'm glad I did. I liked it.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, I have not watched a lot of black and white movies. I'll give you that. I've watched some film noir stuff, but not necessarily black and white, like old black and white for the purpose.
The whole point of this episode was to make, bring home the whole point that superpowered beings aren't allowed to be actors.
And why?
That was the whole point.
Which I can't help thinking, if he's stupid enough to go inside somebody's body, it's kind of his own fault.
I mean, by the end of it, I felt like it's really kind of an unfair rule, and I think the rule should be that, like,
you can't use your superpowers in a movie or something like that.
Well, that you shouldn't be stuntmen. That you shouldn't use your superpower. Like, it's kind of Josh Gad's fault, really. By the end of it, like Josh Gad, like how many times did Damar say, "I'm not an actor. I don't want to do it. Use the idea, but do it with CGI." And Josh Gad is like, I mean, we can get to this later, but like Damar was pushed into it, and like, yeah, you shouldn't use your superpowers as the stunt, right? Like, I mean, even a lot of stunts that could be done in Hollywood, they do with CGI because it's safer, or it's like,
yeah. Even if they had, like, you know, the Hulk lift somebody for a movie, like, it could still cause an issue, right? Yeah, Twilight Zone. I have seen Twilight Zone episodes, but
right.
yeah, I don't know. I just kind of was like, why would you keep, like, I don't know. If it was me, I would not keep running through a person. Like, I would worry about it, you know. Also, they need insurance is the other issue. They definitely need it.
Well, that's what it comes down to by the end. Yeah.
You know what I thought was interesting was they had you know, Mario Lopez for all the news segments and everything. Doesn't he have a contract with NBC?
I don't know.
Who does he?
Funny. Who knows? Disney owns everything. So, all right.
Not NBC.
No, I know. All right. So the guy's name is Damar Davis, and he's just an everyman. And yeah, he's the doorman. And this is where we see Josh, as we said, Josh Gad coming into the bar. Who seems to be, you know, a nice, normal guy. He's like, come hang out with me and everything. And he's really nice. And obviously is a big part of the episode. I do like his part in it. I do think he was really funny. I mean, he's normally really funny, but I did like his part. And then this is the bartender.
I'm not sure I've ever seen anything that he was ever in.
I have. I covered something he was in a long time ago that had Sigourney Weaver and him. I don't remember what
I'm going to look him up while we talk. I'll look him up.
I more know him from Frozen and I guess more than anything. Anyway, this is the bartender that I don't know if I was looking to see. I think Bridget, maybe that might be Bridget. But anyway,
the boss is named Bridget. Yeah, the boss is named Bridget.
He's been working at this bar for a long time, and he's happy. I mean, she even says to him, you know, everybody else around here like leaves the bar, goes to Hollywood. You've kept this job. Are you happy? And he's like, yeah, I'm happy. And I think it's kind of clued in that that's, you know, his life is going to change, and that's when she says that. Now, I don't know if this was what this was supposed to be, oil, some kind of puddle of stuff.
It kind of like goo. It was goo because something Roxanne did wrong again.
Space goo?
Yeah, it was something Roxanne, you're right. Which is of course from Daredevil. But yeah, a black goo that made looked like a hole. And I know as I'm watching, I'm like, why are you touching it? Don't touch it. Like, who does that, right? But then I thought, well, if I was in a Marvel movie, actually, I probably would touch it because I would want superpowers. But in this case, they don't necessarily do what he expects. And he ends up in this room of portals that look like doors. I liked how they represented it. That's why I was kind of wondering, like, I guess all of these portals are inside him. And it's like Josh Gad just went through a different portal.
I didn't take it that way. So when I watched this scene, I thought of a couple things. First, I thought that it looked like, is it called the Nothing in Supernatural, AJ, where angels go? They don't go to heaven; they go to the Nothing. Right? Is that what it's called?
Oh yes.
And it all, which looks almost exactly also like when you go into Eleven's mind space in Stranger Things, but they're all.
That was exactly my first thought when like he's standing there and there's like a puddle of water. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, he's in Stranger Things. He's in Elle's head.
Yeah, and then I saw all these doors, and I did think of the John Cena show Peacemaker, which has this like space with all these doors to different like universes, right?
You know what I thought about when I saw the doors?
Wayward.
Yeah. Wayward.
I thought of that. I thought of Wayward. I also was thinking about the Into the Spider-Verse with the portal guy that has the holes in him. It also made me think of that because that's kind of a little
Polka
bit
dot,
what
yeah.
Power made me think of.
And yet, as I watch the rest of this episode, like I don't feel that his what's his name, Damar's powers really reflect portals. Like I just took him to really be like a doorman, like because Josh Gad was going to come out, like everybody goes in during the fire and they come right out his back in the next room, right? Or the dog goes right through the floor. Like they don't go.
Maybe that's me then. I assumed, especially because they showed this, that's what it is. It's like a portal, and they're going from one portal to another, like a wormhole.
And yet everybody just came out in a space that was touching his body. Like Chance, the dog, goes through and falls through the floor. Like his body is on the floor. He's sitting on the floor. Chance goes through his body. Josh Gad goes through his body. The people in the fire come out the next room. Like nobody goes to like, I'm sorry, I'm so hot. You guys, my apartment is so hot, even though it's 30 degrees
no, I mean, that's fair. I see what you're saying. I guess I just didn't look at it that way because of all the doors and everything. And, and you don't really see him having like a hole in him the whole time. You know,
which I'm not trying to say. I'm trying to say they did it wrong. And they set up this scene like doesn't really convey to me what his power is. Like nobody got blooped to a different dimension or a different universe. They all got blooped 3 feet.
Well, we don't know what happened to Josh Gad. We haven't found that.
I assume he got vomited out. I assume Josh Gad is vomit.
See, I assumed when he spit out the water, it meant that he sent him someplace with water. So I don't know. We both looked at it.
Our bodies are 70% water.
I took it a third way. I don't know where Josh Gad is, but I took it that it's too everything's overwhelmed him. Like it's been too much. Like, you know, he has his power, but it's not meant to be abused the way it has been abused. And I mean, he just threw 2 big duffel bags through him. And then with the third one and himself, it was too much. And I think he vomited. It's kind of like, you know, it's like he drank too much, you know?
Yeah.
Wow, that's why he's vomiting. All right, well, I guess we'll get to that. Anyway, these doors or whatever they are, which don't have I don't know what they are because they're like doorways, right? Whatever they are. To me, this didn't this didn't jibe with the rest of the episode. I don't really get this and why this scene is here.
All right, that makes sense. B says, I was totally confused because I had no idea who the folks were, what was going on. Well, they were new characters, so that's fair. Yeah, sorry. That's why I'm gonna figure out the video. We'll get the captions next time for the beginning. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like you could summarize this episode in pretty much like a couple sentences. Again, not that I didn't like it. I just it wasn't necessary to understand the fact that this is why they can't have powers and be actors. That's kind of the whole point of the episode. But yeah, he goes back to his apartment after this and his dog falls through the floor. All I did with that point was like, is the dog okay? Like, what happened to the dog? You know me. So Jamie's just worried about the dog. I thought it was stuck inside him and I was busy like, dog, fix the dog. But no, the dog fell through the floor into the other woman's apartment, which he goes down into. And she's like, what are you doing here? Why are you in my apartment? And he's I just came to get my dog. Which was funny.
For a second, I was like, she doesn't recognize her neighbor. And then I thought, I have no idea who lives in the apartment below mine. If I fell through my floor, I have no idea who's down there.
Yeah, true. Yes, Kimberly, thank you. Everybody, please like and subscribe. And that's okay, B. I do need to fix it. I'm not sure why it's not.
You know what I thought was funny? Her door was open. It wasn't even like he...
I assumed he walked through it.
No, he went downstairs and the door was open.
That's right. Her door was open. He ran down.
It was open like a crack. Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I was thinking he walked through it. That's interesting. Yeah, that's kind of, especially because he could go through it. That's kind of dumb they left it open. But oh well. All right. So he's still
through it. He can't go through stuff. People can go through him. He can't walk through a wall. People can only go through him.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Okay, you're right. I was thinking he could.
Nope, that's not true. When there's a scene when him and Josh Gad first get tight, they're in a restaurant and he stands against the side of the wall. Gad goes through him and then he follows through.
Yeah, I was gonna say because he goes through that door when he saves him from the fire too. He
Yeah.
falls through. So he has to be able to make a portal, which was kind of my point. But it's neither here nor there. So they're having their rave at the club, I guess. Not really a rave, but I'm calling it a rave with his with Josh Gad's rapping, and he causes would have been an electrical fire, and everybody's trying to get out and they're stuck, and this is when he decides to go ahead and use his crazy power, and he gets them all as they go in me and gets them to safety through him. That is an awesome shot, isn't it? That came out really good.
Did you guys ever see this movie Basket Case?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Basket Case. This was kind of a great heroic moment, right? Like in this moment, he's like a superhero. And it was really not, it's like the first and the last thing he does that's really kind of motivated by a pure like instinct before, as AJ pointed out, he starts to like other people start to take advantage of his power, right? And then he does also.
Yeah. Josh Gad's like, I'll pay you a bunch of money. I want you. He's like, basically, I want you to be my personal door. And look, it was pretty smart. He used it to avoid the paparazzi and get in different places, and it was kind of funny. But obviously, it's not going to stay.
I like how he was like, nah, man, I'm good. I'll give you $20,000. Okay.
200,000.
Or 200,000. Sorry.
Yeah, he's like, okay. So he's his personal door, and then he also gets him to be an actor and go in their movie that I don't remember the title of.
Cash Grab.
That they're breaking in a vault and they're using him to break. I got to be honest. I thought that was going in a different direction. I thought from the beginning that somebody was going to use him to break in a vault, like for real, not as part of the movie. Because that would have been that was like the first thing I immediately thought somebody's going to force him to do something like that. So it was kind of interesting to me that they went the opposite, like completely opposite direction, because it's like a fake vault. But yeah, he's like, you can do your own stunts. We're going to do it for real. Because he tells them just use special effects. They don't want to. They want him to walk through the vault.
Well, that's later. That's in this. Oh yeah. He does say that.
So that's his first time.
He says, I'm not an actor.
Yeah, clearly he's not an actor, and he doesn't necessarily want to be an actor, but he finally agrees to it. And then basically the fame kind of gets to him, and he ends up really having fun, which is normal. He's got fame, he's got money, he guest stars on a bunch of places, and people are starting to get sick of him and his 15 minutes of fame. And they're annoyed by him. And he's losing money because he didn't do what he should have done with it and, invest it or protect it or, actually think about what he was doing. He just spent it. Reminds me of how Nicolas Cage will do any kind of movie as long as the money's right. May not be wrong.
And like, to be fair, DeMar was a guy whose job was being a doorman and probably and lived on tips, right? Lived on cash, probably never really had a retirement plan, thought he had to. And like later in the episode, when someone says to him, you should have saved your money, the next paycheck is never, you can't count on it. And DeMar says, you never told me that. Like, no.
It was Josh Gad. He goes, well, I'm telling you now.
Yeah.
I know. I also kind of think like that's something that you should know. I feel like, that celebrity doesn't stick forever. And that's relate. Skills.
There's like entire television series made about people who like win the lottery and like spend it all because they like don't have any, like the money comes easy, you spend it all, you like it does happen, right? Like in life. Like I'm not saying like, people look, I'm not saying if I won the lottery, I'd probably call a lawyer before I called the lottery commission to claim it, right? But only because I've watched 100, because you see all these stories about people who like go broke and whatever, right?
Yeah. I just kind of feel like if you're lucky enough to have that money and you lose it all, it's kind of your own damn fault for being stupid. That's the way I've always looked at it.
I don't know. It's being stupid. I mean, maybe he's a person who was never exposed to money and like didn't really.
All right. That's fair.
He's not stupid. He didn't like I mean, I think there's a story about him absolutely being taken advantage of by people who wanted to make money off him and didn't really want to take care of him. This is how Mike Tyson winds up broke, right? Like he's got all these people around who want to take advantage of him and his talent, but don't care enough to advise him to like make sure you don't lose all your money, right?
Yeah. I more meant like the lottery though. I mean, I feel like if you win millions of dollars and you just keep spending, like you have to know that if you keep spending, it's eventually going to run out is my point.
Yeah.
But yes, I know what happens to a lot of actors and that. I shouldn't have said stupid, but you know what I mean. I'm just saying like you should know better. But you're right. They should have advised him and said, this isn't going to last forever. Don't keep going crazy.
I mean, that's what you get an agent for, but I don't know if Hollywood agents are very, if they really do that. Like
you need
as professional athletes, their agent and their managers, like their job is to kind of actually. So I'm gonna go on the side here. I'll tell the story really fast. I was like hanging out in a restaurant downtown at the bar, and I met a guy who played for the Ravens. This was like 18 years ago. This is not a guy that you would know. And he was a young guy, and he was telling me about this condo that he was buying, and he didn't get the larger one, he got the smaller one. And his agent wouldn't let him buy the bigger condo. And I said, well, he's your agent. Can't you just tell him to give you the money? And the guy goes, well, then he wouldn't be a very good agent. and
he figured out you don't do that, even if he wanted to do that.
And so some people, their agent looks out for them, and DeMar's agent did not look out for him, only wanted to exploit him, right?
Yeah, that is correct. But at any rate, he starts to run out of money, and he's taking all kinds of jobs to try to get.
Oh, here he is walking through a door, so shut me up.
Yeah, you're right. He is. So he's going broke, and then this whole thing about he was being sued because the potatoes burnt people, to me made absolutely no sense to me, because why would he be responsible just because he works in a commercial, be responsible for people burning themselves? That was kind of dumb to me, because that isn't the way it works. But
yeah, I didn't quite get that either. But
and then he's even more dumb because he's like, and I'm thinking he's going on social media and saying that he was duped by this company as well. And I'm thinking, you say that, then you're going to get sued for, is it libel or slander, whichever it is. But yeah, he would not be responsible for that.
I mean, listen, it's not libel or slander if it's true.
Well, but if there hasn't been an investigation, you don't go on social media as a celebrity and say, this company screwed me, or you might regret it.
I mean,
that's all I'm saying.
He doesn't have a media relations, right? He's just a guy. He doesn't have media relations. He doesn't have a
right. But he wouldn't get, people wouldn't. I mean, people might blame him if they use the product because of him, but being in legal trouble because people got burnt on a product he advertised is kind of ridiculous. But it's neither here nor there. All right. So anyway, Josh comes back. He has another job for Cash Grab too. He starts having, I guess this was like a nightmare, right? About going back to the, as I'm calling it, the portal place, whatever you want to call it, the door place. And we know that something's going to go wrong, but he goes through with the movie, and he does, I think after he throws the bags through, it sounded like he told him to stop. But he didn't. I thought it sounded like it, but I wasn't sure.
You could hear his stomach churning and gurgling as though he was about to be in GI distress, right? Did you hear that? It's gurgling and it's churning and it's and then he, just as Josh Gad goes through, he spews. It does look like water. I've seen better vomit on television, right?
And granted, it is black and white, but they still could have done a better job. That's why I honestly thought it was supposed to be water. I figured it was either water from that area with the doors, or it was water from, like, we sent him to the ocean or something.
I think that's Josh Gad right there on our screen. I think that's what happened. I think that's what happened to Josh Gad. He's like puked out.
Guess what? I don't think we'll ever know.
I don't think,
because the show's almost over.
I would want them to do like a post-credit scene to like say this happened to him, but they did not.
I think he really takes the blame for a situation that was created by. This is like blaming the stuntman for the way the stunt was set up, right? Like everybody participated in this, and it's just a bad idea. We talked about this. It's a bad idea to just have a superpower be the stunt, and then poor Damar takes
Right.
the
That's why you don't do it.
blame for it.
Yeah. It was totally not all his fault. And for them to, blatantly restrict anyone from powers to be in a movie is kind of not fair. Well, it's not kind of not fair. It's not fair.
You know what would have been funny?
I have to have a lot of insurance.
You know what would have been funny is if in the credits of this episode, if they had put up some kind of disclaimer that said no Josh Gads were harmed in the making of this episode.
That would be funny.
That would be funny, AJ.
This is why we should be making the show, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, saying like they can't use superpowers while working in a movie, that I could maybe understand in a project like they have to keep their powers down. But either way, this became the Doorman clause, and obviously this was in the first episode that he had to sign.
I mean, I do think to just stand up there and deliver lines, yeah, it's totally different from what they asked Damar to do and what caused it, right? Like what Simon wants to do, which is just act, or like nobody can act. I get it that it's not like it's a law. It's that the insurance industry is going to require so much so that like Josh Gad doesn't die while you're filming your thing, right? But it does seem like your insurance, your contract should just say you can't use your powers, right?
Yeah. Not everybody has to use. I mean, not everybody who's powered can't like refrain from using them, right? It depends what it is. Most of them can. Golden Child says, didn't Hawk Target sue to advertising Bitcoin or something?
Hawktua.
I said it right.
People blamed her, but she didn't get sued. The company behind it did.
Okay.
All right. Well, whoops. Simon, this is where Simon, excuse me, is finding out.
It looks like he's like an extra in a doctor's.
That's what I was thinking. He's an extra on ER.
Right? And they, for some reason, need like 40 people in scrubs to be in this episode.
Well, it's an emergency happening at the hospital. They need them and stat all come in. So. But yeah, so this is where he has found that out and is worried about it, and now is going to have to lie. Hold on, I'm opening the next picture, and that is the end of that episode. Yeah, I don't know. I guess you feel mixed.
This is like a situation like when you force people to go underground. Like, are you possibly creating worse problems? Like Simon can't control his powers, but if he didn't have to hide them his whole life, would he have developed an ability to control it more if he'd exercised it more as a youth, right? Or now he's going to like lie to get a job on set, and then if something happens, like the film is not insured, like, right?
Or it would have been safer if they knew about it, right? I mean, I see.
And I'm not trying to say that powers are necessarily it's reminding me of situations in public health where when you stigmatize certain illnesses, like tuberculosis is really stigmatized, and people don't come forward and get treatment, and then the tuberculosis spreads, right? This is not the same thing. He's not going to spread his powers, and it's not an illness, but like you're forcing people and so today it's acting, but what other, like, what's to be like, you can't come to any job with your powers because everybody needs to be insured, right?
Yeah, I kind of wondered about that. Like, why is it just acting? I guess it is the insurance thing, but really other jobs would, I think, have to have the insurance thing as well.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with insurance, but regardless. Yeah. And in the case of this show, it's for storyline purposes.
Yeah. And so AJ, quickly, what we had a conversation in the chat of our watch party about, I mentioned this earlier, that I said, "Oh, is Damar a mutant?" And everybody was like, "That's not really a mutant." And then I was like, "No, it's not a mutant. He doesn't have the chromosome, the gene, right?
He's not a mutant. He's not a mutant because he didn't have it until he touched the rock song.
Right. So he according to the internet, he's called a mutate, is what they call them. People that acquire their powers, like that don't have the X gene, And then there's like other things like Jamie was like, what about Inhumans? And there's all these different. Simon, we don't really know what he is. He could be a mutant. He could have had this from birth, right? And then it just manifested around the time of the fire in the house. We don't really know.
Yeah, Simon, we don't know. All right, so let's go to the next episode. I might have to go change. I'm getting hot, except I don't have anything on under my shirt, so I can't take my sweatshirt off. Whoops, wrong thing. All right, so the next episode is. Wait, I got.
I don't know what this one is called. Let me know the title offhand of this episode. My phone.
I don't know.
I'll be right back. I'll look it up when I find my phone.
Okay.
Here it is. But here it is. I'll look it up while we're talking.
Anyway.
You have to wait for me. I'll look it up really
so
quick.
So this episode goes all screwy when people could go looking for the Mandarin.
Found footage. It's called found footage.
Found footage, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, guys, I need to take off a second. Okay, I'll be back in a couple minutes.
All right. So AJ, how'd you like this one? You like this episode also better than the first three, right?
Yeah. This was better. A little more happening.
This was like a little bit like a buddy comedy. This episode.
Yeah. This episode was definitely, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like the first three episodes, just like nothing ever really happened. And it was like they're just trying to create this world of poor. They want I feel like they want everybody to feel sorry for. Oh, poor Simon. He has no friends and he can't get out of his own way. And the poor guy. And now this agent is trying to entrap him because he needs to keep his job. And they hired Slattery to do it. And that's how all three of those first three episodes felt.
So,
and then this episode, I felt like, okay, something's actually happening now. We're not focusing on, poor Simon.
Like, am I hearing you feeling like maybe that was like more character development than we need for 8 half-hour episodes?
Yes.
And 3 of them are devoted to like character development. Yeah. I get that.
Especially with the glaring hole of the guy has no friends, but he had a girlfriend. Yes, she broke up with him. But it kind of goes against what they were trying to show.
Yeah.
I think they used the whole girlfriend breaking up with him as one more thing of, poor Simon. And they didn't think about the fact, how the hell did this guy get a girlfriend in the first place?
Yeah. I enjoyed this episode a lot. I liked the whole like buddy comedy aspect, and it's sort of like a comedy of errors where they go from everything goes from one thing to the next, everything goes wrong. And I did like the way the entire time Trevor is like, Simon, chill, right? And Simon is like so like worked up all the time.
Yeah.
As he maybe should be about some of this stuff, right? And it's funny that like the guy who was betraying him or the guy who was sent to surveil him is the guy who's like, don't worry so much about your powers, about getting the right. I mean,
I love the running gag through the show so far, though. They're like, aren't you the Mandarin? And I love the look on Slattery's face every single time he's like, oh, yeah, I was the Mandarin. It was just a role.
He's like typecast, right? He's an actor.
Yeah, typecast is the Mandarin.
And like he's done so much acting, and everybody's just like, weren't you that guy who? I'm trying to think of an actor who played this one really embarrassing, terrible role in their past that they can't get over, right?
Yeah,
like that one bad movie that you made, and you can't get past it. It's like if you run a Tom Cruise and you're like, weren't you in Cocktail? Or something like that. I don't know, but I liked this whole like running around town. Try to get this stuff done. I liked. I mean, it's not surprising that somebody would be coming after Trevor for money eventually. Although I thought his Mandarin money was supposed to pay for all this stuff, but I pay back his debts. But I guess maybe he never got to collect. Maybe he got to jail before he got paid. But by what's his name, the guy that was behind it all. So if Jamie doesn't get back soon, we're just going to be done talking about this and move on, I think. And I do kind of love how clueless they like. These two are like a little bit bumbling. Like the whole bit with the GoPro, and the guy's like, "I'm gonna upload the, there's this bit where they don't understand the technology, and then you can't just upload a GoPro to the internet." And they, they're chasing this guy around, and I mean, you still got to get it. He still could upload that footage, right?
Yeah. I like how every time they thought they got to somewhere, then it was like, oh well, it's actually this guy, and then then the bad guys catch up to them again, and
you have to get to the next place, yeah. And all through it, like Simon is getting so nervous, and he's like, "Oh, we should be running line. I can't be doing this. I should be running lines for tomorrow." And Trevor's like, "You have no lines. Don't worry about it." Like, and I should be sleep. He's very worried about preparing for this interview, and Trevor's not worried at all. But I mean, Trevor is, for all of his faults, he's a very talented actor and a very charismatic person who can charm a director and hey, Fletch, he can charm a director and a casting agent, right? And Simon is like wholly insecure and a great actor, but doesn't really have a lot of confidence in his own abilities.
No, because he keeps getting in his own way.
Yeah, right. And I know. So as this episode went on, this one and the next one, I really have been getting the feeling all along that Trevor really likes Simon, and they really are becoming friends. And like, what's Trevor going to do? And then they get the size for the audition, and the scene they're doing is Barnaby betrays Wonder Man, and that's exactly like, could this story be going there? Like, is Trevor going to betray Simon? That's the big question.
See, I don't think, from everything we've got, I don't think he's going to, because he's actually done everything he can to stall the situation. I mean, he got rid of the wiretap,
Yeah. Fletch, thanks for dropping in. I see you're not actually watching this. You might someday give it a shot, because it's real short. It's only a total of 4 hours, 8 episodes, 30 minutes. But we'll see you soon, Fletcher, for the next thing. I think he's this show seems to be a little bit of a redemption arc for Trevor, right? Like, he does.
Sorry, I've been talking with you guys. I was reading.
Oh, good, because we're running out of things to say. We're about done with this episode.
No, sorry. I was just going to say, I think the main thing about this episode, what's important, is obviously that he uses his powers in order to save Trevor, and that's what starts it. But yeah, I don't know. This show isn't like super deep that there's tons and tons to say about a lot of it.
Although it's super meta, and right, and
yeah.
But yeah, I agree. The storyline of Wonder Man is obviously about Wonder Man being betrayed. I mean, you're absolutely right. That's what this is about. I do think this episode was really funny, though. It had a lot of really good one-liners, especially because this is the one where they go to the house, right? Or is that in the next one? No, that's in the
when they go to the candy house.
The candy house where they think they're making drugs, and he's like, "It's just candy." No, really, it's just candy. And he's like, Trevor suddenly is on this guy's side just because he made really good candy, and he's like, "Try the peach rings." Well, and I love when the girl's like, "The mandarins."
Yeah. I don't know if I would say so I know what you mean, Jamie. Not that Trevor's suddenly on his side, but that Trevor sees very quickly that this is a mistake. And these are not drug dealers, and it's a misunderstanding, right?
It is, but I feel like he believed him all of a sudden because of that. Not that not for necessarily the right reasons. But you're right. He is.
Well,
They are.
you mean believing that he's not a drug dealer? They're clearly not preparing
No,
drugs.
I mean, believes that like it's the other guy that did everything. That the other guy is, he didn't really steal his bike. Like he has no clue. I know he thinks that this guy is being honest. I'm just saying, like, I feel like he suddenly was best friends with him because he liked his candy, and I think it was sort of meant to be. I thought it was meant to be taken that way. Was he right? Yes.
I mean,
But-
to be fair, Trevor has said from the moment they met GoPro guy that we can't trust you. He has said repeatedly, we can't trust this guy, we can't trust this guy, we can't trust this guy, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm saying you're not wrong, and he wasn't wrong. I just thought it was funny the way he suddenly was like,
oh yeah, have a peach ring. Oh, these are great. Yeah.
yeah. But I like the jokes that they did. And it was really funny when they're like, just give us the GoPro, and like, not saving him until he gives them the camera and they take the time to delete it. And then like, I don't know where the shots come from. The cops are already there. Like all they had to do was wait for the cops, which made it even more funny. But I don't know where the shots came from because the GoPro, I forget his name. The GoPro guy had been pulled himself inside the house. So the only ones that were outside were the bad guys with the guns and the cops, and somebody shot because you can hear the shot on the phone when he's talking to his agent. And it was just like total chaos. I don't know. I just thought this episode was funny.
It was funny.
Funny.
I do think the LAPD had a little lapse in procedure there where, like in every cop show ever, they send somebody around the back door to cover the back door in case anybody runs out. But they had a lapse in protocol, which allowed our heroes to run out the back door. Thank goodness in this episode.
Yeah. Well, they what was it though? You made me think too, though, that he was copying a cop show when they went in, saying who they were. I don't remember what it was.
Oh yes, because there was a long because it was so fun. I thought this was really funny, Jamie. Thanks for reminding me. Simon's like, AJ mentioned not able to get out of his own way. They're going to the front door, and Trevor's like, "What's our story?" And Simon concocts this huge backstory for them. Oh, we're two cops that are out investigating. We're undercover cops. We're investigating blah, 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 blah. We come by. We see the license plate. We run it. It's like, what? If you just knock on someone's door and are like police and they're actually thieves and drug dealers, they're not going to question you on like all of that, right? But it's Simon's thing that he's got to, this is what got him fired in episode 1.
And then they open the door and she's immediately like, it's the Mandarin. It's like,
yeah. Simon overthinks the whole thing. He overthinks it all, and then it's the Mandarin.
Yes, so then they know they're actors.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, they blow their cover, but they do get away, and they're on their way to the audition. There, he deleted the GoPro. On their way to the audition, there's not their hands up. He gets the call from Janelle. So they have to run their audition because it's been moved up because the director's leaving or whatever. So that's where the episode ends, that they're rushing now to get to the audition.
What's his name? Von Croy? Is that his name? Von Croy's house?
Von something. I don't know.
I think it's Von Croy.
Von something.
Yeah.
Von Callback.
Von Callback. Yeah. You're right. All right. So in the third, hold on, I'm trying to open up the
comeback, the callback.
The callback.
Yeah.
Callback. All right. Hold on, I gotta switch it. Sorry, guys. Just give me 1 sec. The right one? Yeah. Okay, so in this episode, we get a little flashback to the Mandarin and when he
the Mandarin's debut.
I guess that was kind of done for people who didn't know who he was, and for us, just as kind of like a little nod. B says, this was from a while ago. Sorry, I missed this. Well, Trevor's technically already betraying him, but I sense he's trying to get out of it. Yeah, I think he's stalling now.
Well, it's not betrayal unless you do something to. He went in as a spy, so it's.
Yeah, it's about what he does now that's important.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So we do get
It's betrayal if you make the person think they're your friend, and then it's absolutely going to be a betrayal if he does it. Like Simon believes they're friends. Simon really has no friends, and he finally makes a friend. And if it turns out, I mean, I would definitely put it in the betrayal category.
It is, but I definitely think that Trevor is his friend. I don't think that he's faking any of that. But I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah.
I tend to think he's stalling and he's going to.
Yeah, I mean, we see by the end, we see in this episode that he's stalling when Cleary picks him up.
Yeah, that's definitely how I took it. But we do get a little bit there of the Mandarin, and just to kind of see how that had gone down. And then they get to this guy's mansion, and then once again Simon's like, "There's one pair of shoes there. What does that mean?" and starts freaking out. I don't understand how he goes to the auditions and he doesn't dress up a little bit. Like, he's still wearing his sweats.
Well, they haven't been home. They've been out all night.
They didn't have the chance.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But I just keep thinking, like, he's going to all these places and he never changes.
They've been out all night since the night before when they got involved with the loan shark, the drug dealers back in the alley. He berates Simon repeatedly this episode that Simon keeps telling Trevor it's his fault they're not prepared. I didn't get any sleep because of your bullshit. It's your problems that got me involved in this. I mean, he's pretty
he's not wrong. I mean,
he's not.
It's not all Trevor's fault, but
no,
a lot of it's Trevor's fault.
He's not wrong. It's all true, but I felt like Simon was making excuses for his own insecurity, and he's already setting it up that if I don't get this role, I can blame it on Trevor and not myself.
Yeah. That is very true. But my point was he should have stopped home and changed. That was my point.
They didn't have time. Janelle told them and said he's leaving town. It's right now. Janelle said you have to go right now.
Yeah, I know.
There's not any time to go home.
They wouldn't have made it in time had they done anything else.
They would have missed it. There's no going home.
Like I gotta say, this was pretty funny. Is she wearing shoes? And I love the fact that you couldn't tell.
She's got those trousers that brush the floor.
No, you could not tell. Hold on. I'm looking to see if we have names here so I don't butcher them too bad.
I'm pretty sure her name. I'm pretty sure that Von Kovac addresses her as Bellamy.
That might be, but I'm more meant to the actors.
Oh yeah,
Melanie. It must be Melanie.
Oh, I heard Bellamy must be Melanie.
It must be because there's a Melanie in the episode, and I don't think there were any other women, so I'm going to say it was Melanie.
Episode, yeah.
All right. So they go in for their callback, and he at first is kind of like, oh, well, these other people are here too. Like, I don't know what he expected for a callback. This is actually really small for a callback, I think.
I think it's unconventional to have you doing your callback and the rest of them are in there watching you. I don't think this is a conventional callback.
That's definitely not conventional.
Kovac
doing that, but not in front of everybody.
Kovac is clearly unconventional.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he is. To have them all together in the house.
I think he's also wants to see their reactions too.
Also, it's interesting they're all men because I think in the post Me Too movement, there's no female actors that go to the director's house to audition anymore.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that.
Who's that guy who's in jail? The guy from Miramax, Harvey Weinstein. Weinstein era, women do not show up at a director's house to audition, I don't think.
Yeah, or if they do, there's a big group of people, and maybe they don't at all now. I don't know. But yeah, you're right. They normally wouldn't audition in front of each other. That part's a little weird. But more than that, he decides. I'm sure it would also obsess about the shoe thing. I'm the person who would notice when people took off their shoes or not yet. We had that conversation in the chat. I would want to take them off as soon as I get in, but I would not.
Well, there's only one pair, so I think I don't know why you can't just walk in the door and say, "Would you like us to take off our shoes?" Like what? Simon can't.
That's too simple.
Yeah, Yes, AJ, you're right. It's too simple for Simon to do the obvious thing.
Yeah. But at any rate, this guy freaks Simon out because he's changing things up. He wants them to
improvise.
I think of the word improv. Wants them to improvise, And he also upsets Simon because he's like pairs them up different. And Simon's like, oh no, I'm supposed to be with Trevor. And Trevor's like, just roll with it. And then that pisses Simon off even more. And he gets
Right, to piss him off. I mean, it throws him for a loop.
He was mad after he had when he was on the floor picking up the plates and stuff and he screwed it up. He was mad at him then because he's like, oh, go off with your scene partner or something like that. He mumbled really nasty.
So did either of you guys realize what the monologue was before?
I did.
I knew immediately too.
Yeah.
As soon as he said, the minute he said the name, I was like, oh my God, he's going to do a Pretty Woman monologue.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize that. But before we get to that, I want to talk a little bit about
the vision board.
The vision board, exactly. I mean, it doesn't just have Vision though, which I'm assuming is just because Vision's coming out, but there's also Captain America stuff.
Oh, is Vision on it? No, I mean it's a vision board in the sense of.
I thought you were saying that sarcastically.
No,
Do you not?
No, I didn't look at anything that was on that.
Oh,
but
well, on the left.
It's called the vision board, Jamie.
Of course, I know that, but I thought you were being sarcastic because its vision is on the board.
I don't even see Vision on that board right now.
Hold on.
He's that white. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, because that was like 5 millimeters tall on my laptop. So I mean, I guess that makes sense. This is a space movie, but no, I mean it was a vision board for
which I hadn't thought of. It might have been not. Maybe they did that.
Yeah, that's absolutely what it is a vision board, right? But
yeah, no, you're right. I just hadn't thought about it saying it that way. But there's all different
Marvel heroes.
Yeah, Black Panther, Captain America, but also I don't know why there's Alien too. For some reason.
We don't know anything what this movie is about, right? So they were able, like, what the movie Wonder Man is about.
Inspiration for other things.
Yeah, they were able to just throw in whatever they wanted to.
He's also got typewriters that might be, typewriters from the show. Who knows? But anyway, he's showing them this stuff and he's talking about the theme song. Oh, there's also that kind of looks like a glowing door, doesn't it? Just saying. But yeah. They listen to the theme song and Trevor starts fooling around and then they do their improv. And you're right. He quotes, when we get to Simon here, he quotes Pretty Woman and then he starts breaking dishes. And obviously the director knew what he did right away. And he's like, I'm disappointed in you.
People in Hollywood, TV people in Hollywood always have their table totally set during the day. Do you guys have your table set at all hours of the day? Waiting.
My table's never set.
I always set it like right before dinner.
Yeah, like what is the point of that? Yeah.
But people in Hollywood always have it set up like it's Pottery Barn and all the stuff is on display.
It might just because they're rich. I think that's a rich people thing, not an actor thing. I think it's just rich people.
Yeah, I knew that was Pretty Woman right away. But as I said, AJ earlier in the other show, I've seen Pretty Woman many, many, many times.
Me too.
I've seen it, but not for years. B, you're right. Simon should have known. She was meaning about the shoes. He should have been able to ask. And she also says, I never have my table set, not even before dinner.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
No, you said it right when you're ready to eat, right? That's the whole point.
I said it when I'm ready to eat with my dad, but if I'm home alone, I just after I cook the food, I just grab a plate and
that's
right.
That's my daily.
Yeah. I set the table when I'm with my dad because he's old, but yeah. Anyway, Trevor really is. I mean, that Pretty Woman thing was. I mean, I guess Simon was completely unable to think of any way. He can't improvise. I absolutely believe he's a guy who can't improvise because improv is about being in the moment and going with the flow, right?
Yeah. Although I'm not sure that improvisation is a skill you need for a movie like this. But I mean, if that's what the director wants, then that's what you do.
I can see Simon's personality is definitely the guy that memorizes the lines and gets in that character. I guess what surprises me is that Simon would. I mean, I guess he probably would have taken some improv classes and maybe failed miserably at them and just not pursued that, right? I don't think everybody does improv. I don't know. I'm not an actor, but.
No, they don't. And that's why I'm saying, generally for a movie like this, there's no reason they'd have to know improv.
Simon doesn't.
Actors like to improv still when they do different line, versions.
Not all actors. Not all
Outside of
it's a little weird.
outside of acting, even I don't think Simon can improvise anything.
I don't think he can either. I agree with you.
And
But
I think improvising is not the same thing as like when Simon was in episode 1 when he's on the set of the show. He's supposed to do American Horror Story, and he does question all the lines, and he wants to change the lines.
That's backstory,
and the backstory
and he's because of the backstory. We should say it this way. It should stand here. Like he's not. I mean, he definitely he wants to change it to go with what he's got in his head. It's not like. But he's
you can have whatever you want in your head. You just don't tell people. You just
improvising a line of dialogue or asking to change a lot of dialogue is not what he's doing here, which is like completely having to be in the moment.
Yeah, and he doesn't. And it's also that he doesn't want to give any of himself either, because that was the point. He said he wanted it to show their personal, their own self in it. And he even says to, Trevor after, I can't show them who I am. And that's, I think, probably the root of the problem, is that he can't open up for that reason. But either way, when he's cleaning up the dishes here that he broke, this is where he says something to Trevor. I didn't hear exactly what he said, but he said something nasty about like, go to your scene partner or something. Cause that's when Trevor quit helping him. So
I would say Trevor quit helping him.
Quit helping him pick up the stuff. I mean,
quit helping him clean.
Yeah, which I don't blame him after he said that. But I think this is exactly what you said before. He's using him as an excuse of why he failed. When this part is not his fault. This part is Simon's fault. Why he failed.
Not Trevor's fault that the director wanted to pair them up, not with your buddy that you drove there, right?
Right, but it's also not his responsibility to take care of Simon either. And it's not his fault at all. And Simon's taking it out on him, but Simon's freaking out. And he's done everything he can to help him. And then he's kind of like throwing it in his face, which wasn't very nice. So he's a little pissed off. So then they are talking amongst themselves while he's just kind of chilling, being all standoffish in the background. And he wakes up and the director comes in and he's like, going to give him another chance. He's like, I want to go. And so they improv this scene about being on the telephone. And this guy,
Ricardo, is his name Ricardo? Or Richard? His name could be, there's a guy named Richard.
Yeah, he's Richard.
He's Richard.
So he starts pretending that he's an old classmate that is saying that basically he knows Simon's secrets and that they were all talking about him when he was out of the room. And obviously at this point you're kind of like, is he really serious? Or I assume this is still a scene. But then he starts to get madder and madder. I love that look too. And as he's getting angry, he punches a hole right through the guy's head. And I was like, what the had just happened? And I was also wondering why it looked like his head was made of sawdust, but and then of course it ended up that he was dreaming, but it was really funny. I love that. And I was definitely surprised and did not expect it and believed it, like that he really did it. I was like, what are they going to do now? And then I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I should have seen it coming, but I didn't see it coming.
See, now I have a problem right after this though. Because, all right, fine. He fell asleep. He was dreaming. But then Richard says something about him. He's like, oh, I didn't know he was going to be so touchy. What is he talking about?
Such a fragile thing. He says it earlier in the episode. But earlier in the episode, Richard is like, when you stop being the Mandarin, how do you let it go? He's such a pretentious dick, this guy, Richard, right? And he's like, how do you let that go when you inhabit that character? And Trevor's like, well, I didn't remember because I was on drugs the whole time. And Richard says, oh, I played Patrick in and I was so traumatized. And Trevor says, oh, I didn't know you were such a fragile thing.
Yeah. So
I call back to that line earlier in the episode.
Yeah.
But what was he saying? But that's what I'm saying. What was he saying? I didn't know he was such a fragile thing about.
I think because he got up and went outside, I thought that he was like, I need a minute. To
me, it played really funny because I could get it if that scene actually happened, but it was a dream. So
Okay.
so I couldn't figure out what he was saying he was a fragile thing about because he woke up and said, I need a minute.
I thought that he was just saying, like, really, like
You're
you're not ready
probably
yet.
right. You're
I,
probably you're probably right. That's probably is what it is. But the fact that it was like, wait, you know what I mean? I just think the way it was structured together is why I was confused.
All right. So who was totally fooled?
Oh,
and
see,
thought that
B was totally fooled there too.
I was totally fooled.
I was too.
AJ,
yeah.
were you totally fooled?
Well, yeah, after he punched his hand through his head, of course,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this isn't real.
Holy crap.
And once again, my first thought was Karen's gonna hate that.
No, I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it
I was
because
just kind of like, what the fuck? Like sitting there in shock, and then like, oh yeah, of course it was a dream. Like, duh.
I mean, but when he punched him in the head, I didn't think it's a dream. It was like a second later when he wakes up, I'm like, oh yeah, it was a dream. But I didn't like.
Right, you fell for it. That's what I mean. I did
fell
too.
for it.
Like,
I totally fell for it. Yeah.
for a minute, I was like, how is he going to get out of it now? And then I'm like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. But I did wonder, why did his head explode like sawdust? That I did wonder what happened. I'm like, their effects aren't normally that bad. And then when you find out it's a dream, it made slightly more sense. But I'm
Well,
kind
we
of like,
don't know what his punch might do to your insides. Like his
yeah,
power.
but it was like dehydrated or something. It
Why
wasn't
not?
blood.
Why
It was
not?
weird.
He's got the amount of power coming off him. Who knows? I mean,
He's got ionic powers, so I mean,
yeah.
I would still expect blood. But yeah, I guess you could be right. Golden Child said, I thought they were disputing how we as critics point out things that don't make any sense in movies, and they were showing how they're working on the time clock. AB. I think he means about that quote, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah. Oh, how you're a fragile thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
was definitely wondering how he was going to get out of it, and wondering why the hell his head wasn't mushy. Thank you. There was no blood. At least B gets me. I'm like, where's the blood? But at any rate, it wasn't real, so it really didn't matter. But it was still like, what's going on? And then this is where Trevor once again tries to help him. He comes out and he's like, you can still turn this around. You didn't ruin it yet. You can fix it. And they start doing a scene outside, and then they're inside doing the scene suddenly.
Well, hold on. Before that, though,
wait.
Hold on. The conversation they have is actually very pivotal.
Yeah, you just yada the critical moment of the whole episode.
Because Simon is saying how I can't be myself because I have these powers, and that's who I am, and Trevor points out he's like your powers aren't who you are. You know, like you can be yourself. You're just a person that has abilities. It doesn't make you who you are. And that I think is.
No, it is. I had said it earlier. And I forgot that it happened here. But
he says like you are the sum of all of your experiences, including like, falling in love, breaking someone's heart, someone breaking your heart. I did feel it was a little bit alluding to the way that he could get his heart broken by his friend later, but it's a great scene, and Ben Kingsley, of course, is great in that moment, delivering those lines, right? And it really is the reason that Trevor's able to deliver, that Simon's able to really deliver on this audition finally. It's like the first time he really heard Trevor.
Yeah. I finally listened and realized he was right, and that he still has something to offer. And I guess they were supposed to be practicing, because they were saying it out there, and then suddenly they were inside. So I guess the idea was
it was just transitioned.
Yeah. But either way, the audition is, of course, really good. But yeah, the whole scene. I mean, this whole scene is made up because this whole scene is about this character. I already forgot what the character's name is, but Barnaby, yeah, about Barnaby betraying Wonder Man, and him saying like, they found my price. Everybody has a price. And I mean, that's what the whole show's about, is that they found Trevor's price and are threatening him. And that is why he's betraying him. And he's like, you're not going to make it. And him even saying you're not going to make it out of here alive, I think even like alludes to the fact they're going to try to capture him. I mean, obviously he will make it out alive, but like that they're going to try to probably capture him before he gets out, and that it's over.
To be fair to Trevor, his price is pretty high. Like, they didn't just offer him money. They threatened to put him in prison, right? Like, he kind of doesn't have a choice. But,
he doesn't. But
yeah.
he's saying eventually.
He absolutely has a choice because he's stalling.
Well, yeah.
Which is smart and does work.
Well, he felt he didn't have a choice when he agreed to do this before he knew.
I just think the whole thing. I would love to have. I mean, Trevor's pretty smart, and I would love to have him say to Cleary, "Why didn't anybody care? Why now all of a sudden do you care about me? You know, like I've been out of prison for 13 years. Granted, I was a prisoner for 12 of those or 11 of those years, 11 or 12 of those years. Why haven't you come after me in the last year and a half? You know, not like he was hiding.
Yeah.
No, yeah. He does say that his testimony wouldn't mean anything. So I kind of wonder if that's going to be like later. He's going to be like.
Well, I love the fact that he uses it against him.
Yeah, he does. I just say Golden Child before was talking about how Simon was critiquing all the scenes about movie critics and that.
Critiquing everybody else's scenes that they've done.
Yeah. All the scenes. All right. So the audition is awesome. They're taken out into the foyer and they think that they're done. They think that they've been dismissed. And it turns out that he wants to tell them away from everybody else so he doesn't upset the other ones that they've gotten the parts. Because he says to Simon, I was ready to dismiss you, but there's no denying that you're Wonder Man and you're who I was thinking about from the beginning. No, Fletcher, she has not seen it yet. I can answer
I
that.
have.
AJ's seen it.
I'm a little so I forgot about it. I was busy, I had to work today and do some other stuff. And I forgot about it. And I'm a little, I will watch it, but I'm a little trying to stay away from hysteria, from hype. I'm not saying that but that you, Fletcher, or anybody else is hysterical, but there was a lot of hype about this announcement of the date. And I'm trying to, I forgot about it. Yeah, I did kind of. I had to work. I had to write a bunch of stuff for work today.
You know what, Karen? To be fair, I'm probably not going to watch any other trailers. I wanted to see since it was a 30-second teaser.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I want to. I was curious to see it, but that I don't want to see anything else because we all know that the PR department is terrible when it comes to. They have no idea what to show and what not to show in ads. So
we
probably
all have watched trailers that have spoiled major moments for us, right?
Oh, true.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Fletch was hysterical.
Okay. Fletch was hysterical. I'm trying to manage my expectations and go into it with a good headspace. How's that?
Yeah, I don't want to know. Yeah. Personally, I don't want to know too much going into it because
I don't think right now they're telling anything, so you don't got to worry too much.
But you never know. Marketing departments suck about these trailers.
Yeah.
So
that's true. But this
one, you know what? When I still think about the Lost trailer when, or not trailer, but it was a commercial for the following week's episode, and in the commercial, Jin says, "Have a cluckety cluck day, Hugo," and we're all like, "What the actual fuck is going on here?" And then we find out, But I hated the fact that they put that in the fucking trailer,
Yeah.
Well, and every Walking Dead promo ever spoiled every episode ever. So, I look, I love my cult of From, but I'm just trying to stay at the edges right now. I got
Karen
3 more shows to get through.
Karen doesn't want the Kool-Aid yet.
I got 3 more shows at least that I'm excited about before From comes out.
I don't know. I watched it this morning. I was busy trying to post the press release. They didn't send it until after.
Anyhow, we
anyway.
Off topic. Okay, so he's a little person he's been thinking about, and that he is Wonder Man.
So Simon believes that he was born to play this role. Right. And he really wants it. Trevor needs the job. It's great. I mean, I think we all knew from the beginning they were going to get the job, right?
Yeah.
Well, it kind of defeats the purpose if they don't.
What, AJ? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said it kind of defeats the purpose if they don't.
If they don't, yeah. So they book the job. I kind of was feeling like, okay, so if I was watching a different show that had more than 2 episodes left, I feel like being cast as Wonder Man and Trev and Barnaby, this movie could do really well. And then would they be kind of untouchable by Cleary? Like if they achieved kind of stardom, would they be protected by the system? And I don't mean like Hollywood would be like, let's not tell anyone you have powers, but he would become such an A-lister that it would be difficult for Cleary to come after him. But we only have 2 30-minute episodes left, so that's not the show that I'm watching, I think, right?
Yeah, and that's my question too. Like, this is one and done, supposed to be, right?
Yes.
Now that doesn't mean that's always the case, but it's supposed to be. So that's kind of surprising to me, because this is more of like, it's not an origin story, because it's not about how he got his powers, but like it seems to be leading up to him becoming this superhero, and like we're not going to get much of the story after the fact, which is a little strange, unless they're bringing him into the story later, which they still could be doing if he's going to cross over somewhere. I don't know, but
I don't know that I feel it's leading up to him becoming a superhero in the sense that it's not what.
Well, they show. I don't know if those are like real stills from the show or not.
He's
I'm
not
going
become
by
like a Cape Crusader and join the Avengers and shit.
no, but I mean, like the whole show, like he's repressing his powers. I feel like there's got to be more to that by the end of the show, right? It's got to be like leading somewhere, that he's going to do something big. And it's just interesting to me that like the show is leading up to that, and then we're not going to see what happens after that unless he comes back in another show, because I don't think there's going to be more Wonder Man.
I think becoming Wonder Man and achieving his life's goal and maybe becoming a better adjusted person by the end of it is a perfectly great outcome for this character. I think this is really just about a guy trying to have a normal life who happens to have powers, not about a guy who, which I think is what like most of the mutants in the X-Men universe like just want to live their life and kind of be left alone, right? And not like, or even in like I mean in Gen V, a lot of them have like useless powers, AJ, right? Like a lot of the powers are not useful in any way. I think it's leading up to him becoming something great, which is like becoming a star or making a great movie or making great art or just learning how to live with himself.
That's fair. That's just not the normal.
Could he? I mean, could Trevor's help with him learning to like get out of his own way and like not be so overthinking? Could that lead to him being able to control his powers? And could that be like the great moment of his life? Yeah. Right. I do think he's going to channel his powers into being a super actor. I mean, I think Marvel has been kind of decent about the one and done. Like Hawkeye was one and done. Echo was one and done. I mean, Hawkeye did have like a little bit extra that happened there, and they had a spin-off, right? Falcon and the Winter Soldier was one and done. A lot of these have been Moon Guy was supposed to be 2 and it never happened, right? What's his name? Moon
Knight. That was so bad, but that's
it was terrible. Story. That's why we didn't get one.
Mean, the only one that's had a season 2 is Loki.
Yes. It was one of the best. And this Marvel Spotlight banner is supposed to be smaller, character-driven, one and done. And the only one we got previously was Echo was the first one, and now this one. And they're supposed to.
We also had Werewolf.
A werewolf, yeah. These are like a meant to be a smaller, different kind of a thing, right? So I mean, I don't see Simon like showing up in a Marvel movie. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see what happens in the next hour. I could be totally wrong, and he could suddenly be like, "I feel so good about myself. Let me go fight crime."
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just, my point is it seems to be leading somewhere, and we're not going to get to see past that. And that doesn't necessarily matter. I'm just saying it's interesting for a Marvel show. It's not, like I said, it's not the normal Marvel formula that we're used to.
I feel there's like, I know that we've read, all of us, about it, that it's meant to be a little bit of a about Hollywood, right? And about like about I don't know if it's a love letter or a critique of or a spoof of Hollywood. I don't know that I'd call it a love letter, because most of what we see of Hollywood is not very like flattering or great, right?
I think a tongue-in-cheek love letter, because I did read an article, an interview with the creator who said that it was a love letter to Hollywood.
Really?
But it's poking fun at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Simon. I feel like Simon is repressing like who he like. He doesn't want to learn about. He's hiding so much inside of him, and I feel like there's a lot to unpack there. It could be a metaphor, like so many. I don't think it's maybe a metaphor for anything, but I think so many different kinds of people could see themselves here. Like Simon is closeted in the bigger sense. I don't mean like gay coming out of the closet, but he's closeted his powers, right?
Yeah.
And there are people who hide a lot of themselves, whether it's your sexual orientation, whether it's your immigration status, whether it's your whatever your fears and insecurities are, or for Simon, it's not just a fear and insecurity, but it's a legal risk, right? And all those kinds of things that people repress about themselves. Like, I feel like all kinds of people could identify with Simon maybe watching this show.
Yeah.
I don't know they're trying to go that deep, but I think maybe that's why I really like him. Not that I'm hiding. I'm not closeting anything. You guys know me as a pretty frank person. But you know, I think it's easy to identify with. Everybody's felt insecure.
Yeah. True.
No, Golden Child. Scarlet Witch was only one season, but then we also had, unless you're counting Agatha, season 2.
Scarlet Witch and Agatha, and those are not under the Spotlight banner. They're a little different, right?
Having an asshole, pointlessly competitive brother because he obviously wins is a superpower to rise above that and just not give a shit anymore what your brother thinks.
Yeah.
True. That's funny.
Yeah.
All right. So they are driving out. They're both shocked. And then when they leave, he is pulled into the black van by Cleary. And this is where he's like, yeah, I know he's powered. I know he's dangerous. But nobody's going to believe me on the stand because I'm a terrorist. You need proof. You got to give me time and leave me alone to let me do it. And let me do it on my own. Yes, as I said earlier, and it seems like you guys agree with, I definitely think this is a stalling tactic, and he's not meaning anything he's saying. He's just giving him some more time.
Is he stalling to save Simon, or is he stalling because he really wants to make this movie?
I think both.
Both.
I definitely think he's stalling to make until the movie's made first, then he can deal with it.
Because I felt like my heat is making noise. I felt like this one little part where he says, yes, Simon is super powered, and yes, he's very dangerous. And I felt like at that moment, I was like, did you have to say he's very dangerous? Could you say, yes, he has powers? I'm not sure if he's dangerous.
Honestly, I think acknowledging and making, I think he's stroking Cleary's ego in that moment. I think that's why he says that he's dangerous. Because if he tries saying, "Oh, I don't understand why you're bothering this poor guy," like I don't think Cleary would have agreed to the terms had he been like, "Oh, well, I don't know, still." You know?
Yeah, I mean, somebody wants to hear and buy some time, and B agrees both that Trevor has an interest in making the movie as well as for Trevor, it's also. I don't know if it's the role of his lifetime, but it's the role of this. This is his life.
It's definitely a redemption arc for him.
Yeah. This is his return to acting.
Hey, maybe somebody will remember me as Barnaby the backstabber instead of the terrorist.
The Mandarin, yeah.
Funny. Well, that is the end of episode 6. Right. There are 2 more left. So make sure you join us next Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern in Discord for our watch party, and at 10:30 for the live stream.
Because the All-Star team might be an asset, yeah.
He's buying time either way. But yeah, join us again next week, and like I said, tomorrow at 8:30. Again, we have a watch party for School Spirits for the 3rd and 4th episode of this season. And then our live stream is at 11. So that will be with Scarlett, me, and Jen. So make sure you guys tune into that as well. Make sure you check scifivision.com. I did put up AJ's interviews. Finally, they are up.
Oh, and can you just remind everybody who they're with?
Go ahead, AJ. It's better you remember. I'd have to look it up.
Oded Fair for his role on Star Trek Academy. Diego Calva, who was Teddy Salvos in or De Salvos in what was that called? Night Manager.
Yes.
Oh,
And-
and we talked about the other one last night.
Yeah, the Copenhagen test.
So yeah, we've been waiting for those. So I'm excited to go read
Yeah,
them.
I'm finally catching up with things. I've still got more of my own to put up, but I at least got those up. So sorry.
Aaron, you'll really like the one with Diego Calva.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to read that.
We really dig into the whole Teddy thing.
Cool.
Yes.
So.
Well, all of those are available on scifivision.com. Some of them are not on video, so they won't necessarily be on YouTube. So make sure you go there. And yeah, always check out the video tab though on YouTube, because most of our interviews are there on video. And there will be more coming in the following weeks. And then soon, hopefully we'll have From stuff for you, but not quite yet. It's a little early for that yet. But
and eventually, once we figure out what we're going to do, we're going to have our million
views celebration.
Views
celebration. Yeah, we need to take care of that. I've been trying to catch up on other stuff first, but we do need to do that.
Yeah.
And we'll be having trivia and some different things, so we'll be doing that soon. And
start your research now on us.
Yes, start your research now. And also I'm still waiting for confirmation, but our spotlight interviews will be starting sometime this month.
Cool.
As well.
All right.
So, all right, everybody. Thank you for listening. It's been fun, and I'll see you guys.
Good night, all.
Good night, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.